Donald Trump's rage is exploding because he's losing this stupid optional war with Iran, losing it straight up. Now, you could make the case that Trump really kind of lost this war months ago, and he has accepted nothing out of that result and insists that we're close to a deal. He's declared victory over and over again. Every few days, he says we're right around the corner from success and Iran is ready to fold and negotiations are going so well. And then Iranian officials come out and go, negotiations? We haven't spoken since J.D. Vance went home after 1.5 days of the 60 days of negotiation. And then Trump comes back and goes, no, a deal is really close. And Iran's like, we're nowhere near a deal. And Trump says, we won. And then the conflict continues. And as we talked about on Monday, the 60-day negotiation deadline came and went with no deal, no victory, no real plan for getting out. And now officials are leaking their own assessment, which is, big surprise, we never should have started this war. Now, Trump's response to all of this has been very predictable, which is he found another country to threaten. He said, you know what? If Oman gets in the way, we will bomb the shit out of them. Oh, boy. He then lashed out at a female journalist, telling her, be quiet, be quiet. We covered that on Tuesday. And Trump now saying on the issue of Iran, I like the idea of just saying that the Strait of Hormuz is an American territory. We control the entire thing. Now, of course, this is absurd and ridiculous. And the reality is that ships aren't going through the strait. How do we control it when it is once again a choke point? Doesn't matter.
One more.
Last week you said that you would soon declare the Strait of Hormuz to be a territory of the United States. Could you elaborate?
Well, I just think it's a great idea. Yeah, I mean, we control it. We control it with the blockade. We have a blockade. We control it with the blockade. And I like the idea of declaring it a territory.
Why do you do that?
We have total control over the strait. Now, they can be a nuisance.
Now, this is just utter nonsense. This is, his brain is mush. He is falling apart. None of that is even remotely true. And if it were true, we would see a different energy price environment. We would have completely different circumstances with regard to who has leverage in these negotiations. Other countries would be behaving differently if we were really in control of the Strait of Hormuz and it was open, but it doesn't matter. Trump realizes he is losing this thing or he has lost it. And so he's just making stuff up. Trump then said, this was at one of his clubs a few days ago, or he's always speaking with the golf shirt on and the red hat. It could be anywhere. I believe this is one of his clubs. And he goes, it's about to be awesome. Like it's about to happen and it's just going to be great. They need to stop the fake news about what's going on with Iran.
Venezuela, we won that war in one day, actually, 48 minutes, actually. And we have a great relationship with Venezuela. We're taking out billions, hundreds of billions of dollars worth of oil. And Venezuela was great, and we're working beautifully with Venezuela. And we're doing the same thing now with, relatively, it's larger, but we're doing a big thing on Iran.
Oh, yeah.
As you know, their currency is valueless. Their military is beat. The Navy is all sunk, 159 ships. At 159 ships, every ship is underwater right now that's resting at the bottom of the sea.
And there they clap like the trained seals that they are.
Every airplane, there are 209 airplanes. They don't have any airplanes. They don't, and you know, it's amazing because you hear these stories. Their radar is gone. All technology is gone.
And yet somehow they're continuing to resist, huh?
They have inflation at 350%. Their cash is worthless. Their currency is absolutely worthless. And then you read the New York Times, they say, Iran is doing extremely well. You know, it's like incredible. It's the only thing they have is fake news. That's all they have.
Listen, it's not that Iran is doing extremely well. It's a country with massive problems led by an authoritarian theocratic regime. But that's not Trump's problem in the sense of he's losing this war. And what Trump does when reality contradicts his fantasies is he just lies. And I say this in the most serious way. Trump is a loser. I mean that analytically. He sets his own terms for success and he doesn't meet them. He said we would dominate them. He said we would get unconditional surrender. He said it 5 months ago and we didn't get that. He sets a deadline and it expires. Iran's like, we don't care. His officials can't even explain what winning is anymore. And it was an optional war. Trump chose this course, and the instability has driven economic uncertainty and disrupted energy markets and threatened higher prices for Americans. It seems to be it seems like it will crush Republicans in November if voters decide, hey, we're tired of paying for this crap. And Trump doesn't seem to care. Now, there's also a serious question about how many people have profited from the volatility and how many people have profited from the war. Trump suggests the Strait of Hormuz is closed and oil prices rise. And then he says an agreement is closed and an agreement is close rather, and the strait is going to reopen and prices fall. And every time that there's those swings, especially if you know what Trump plans to announce, which you can now pay for if you want advance notice of his truth posts, you can trade on that stuff. You can make ungodly amounts of money. Now, this doesn't mean Trump is personally illegally trading on information about the Iran war. We would need evidence to make that claim. But it's a pattern where the people around him certainly seem to be trading on that information. And it's another area that Congress and financial regulators should investigate. Have people connected to the administration traded on announcements about Iran they knew were coming? They are making money off of the death of people. And if insiders are making money from the market swings that Trump is creating, that would give us a whole different understanding of the war. Because if you're just an ordinary American, you see this war, you go, optional war, weird, all right. I'm paying more because of it. The economy is more unstable. Service members are in danger. Some are dying, some are getting injured. If you have advanced knowledge, you're like, oh, wow, this is very profitable. Now, maybe Trump considers that winning. The country loses, Americans pay, Republicans risk electoral disaster, but the insiders are cashing in. Trump will go, it's Oman's fault and it's Iran and the fake news media and all this stuff. But the person really responsible is Trump. And we have an opportunity to respond publicly. Vote in November. And if we get Democrats to take control of the House, we then demand that Democrats use every lawful investigative power available to figure out what happened, who made money, and did anybody break the law. Trump can declare victory 50 times, which he has, something 48 times, something like that. Repeating we won doesn't make it true. And it increasingly seems like Trump is straight up losing this war. Now, what's worse if you're a MAGA Republican? Is it your president lying to you that he wasn't going to start any wars and starting one? Okay, that's one problem. Hey, he told us no wars and he started one. Is that worse? Or is it worse that your big, strong president is losing a war that was optional? Dear God, I don't know the answer. If there's any MAGAs left in my audience, let me know which is worse. One of our sponsors today is the new book by George Koch called Bullies, Parasites, and Slaves. Bullies take from others to benefit themselves, and they pretend to be our only defenders as a ploy to get our support. And the instant a bully doesn't need us, we become their next victims. We need to wise up and see this. Parasites are the people hiding behind titles and offices, subsidizing their wealth by ruthlessly underpaying everybody below them, like the CEO who makes more before lunch than you make in a year. And then there's the hybrid bully parasite king who sends the poor to war, to conquer, to kill, to enrich himself and his friends. That's what this book exposes, and it really nails it. Replacing exploitation with mutual care. You can get Bullies, Parasites, and Slaves in paperback, ebook, or audio. You can even get it for free if you need. Go to bps.online or text my last name, Pakman, to 511-511. The link is in the description.